When we talk about Bond cars, we usually think about exotic or classic Aston Martins, like the DBS, V8, or the gadget-laden DB5 from Goldfinger. But there were so many other interesting cars driven by 007 in the official films that you won't need to raid Fort Knox to own. I've identified 12 budget Bond cars, and the average price to buy them, all of which are less than the cost of a new Tesla Model 3, and way cooler too. As we're talking about buying a Bond car on a budget, I'm going to start with the most expensive, and work down to one that could cost you less than £2,000. Can you guess what it is? Keep watching to find out, and let me know in the comments which budget Bond car you'd like a licence to drive. The most expensive in this pick is an Aston Martin V12 Vanquish, which featured in the 2002 film Die Another Day. You will recall that it was referred to as the Vanish, with its improbable cloaking device. It featured strongly in the film, chasing a Jaguar XK around a frozen lake. And yes, you can buy one for less than a Tesla 3, around £38,000 on average from recent UK auctions. Next cheapest is the Lotus Turbo Esprit from For Your Eyes Only, released in 1981. Two were featured in the film, one blowing up in Spain and the other fitted with skis to cut a dash in the snow in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Neither spent much time on screen, but rumour has it that Roger Moore adopted the copper-coloured Esprit as his location vehicle while in Italy. Although these two cars were early dry-sump turbo Esprits that would cost around £100,000, an all but identical turbo Esprit can be bought for around £35,000. Quite a different car featured 2 years later in the follow-up film Octopussy, a Range Rover convertible used to tow a horsebox with an unconventional occupant, an Acrostar microjet aeroplane. The particular vehicle used was a Rapport Huntsman Special Edition, which are incredibly rare, but you can find conversions done by other coach builders for around £32,000. Failing that, you can pick up a neglected two-door Range Rover for much less and convert it yourself. Not all Bond cars were British makes, and the Ford Mustang Mach 1 takes us to the USA and the streets of Las Vegas in Diamonds Are Forever, when Sean Connery made a return to the role in 1971. It is best remembered for being flipped onto two wheels to drive down a narrow alley. The stunt was performed in two parts with different drivers, and the second flipped it onto the opposite set of wheels, so they had to include a brief shot of Bond and Tiffany Case tipping back one way and then the other to ensure continuity. Either way, the Mach 1 Mustang is a great looking and sounding car, and can be bought for just £30,000. Returning to Octopussy and another non-British car, the Alfa Romeo GTV6. Bond borrowed the car from a West German lady in a public phone box, and used it to get to an American airbase rather rapidly and chased by the Bundespolizei in their BMWs. For those of you interested in such things, the GTV6 was styled by Giugiaro, the same man responsible for the look of the Lotus Esprit. These early 80s Alphas can be picked up for around £15,000. Another car borrowed by Bond was the 1970 Triumph Stag, earlier on in Diamonds Are Forever, where 007 pretended to be diamond smuggler Peter Franks. He takes his car onto the Dover to Calais hovercraft and drives it to Amsterdam to meet his contact. A Triumph Stag is a much maligned model, mostly by people who have never owned or driven one, but a well-sorted Stag is a great car and can be found for around £12,000. We're halfway through our budget Bond car picks, and from now on everything can be bought for under 10 grand. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more entertaining content on classic and modern classic cars. We're going all the way back to the beginning with this next one, 1962 and Dr. No, with James Bond driving a Sunbeam Alpine Series 2. This lake blue sporting tourer will forever be the first official Bond car of the big screen, rented by 007 in Jamaica and driven skillfully during a spirited but dusty chase through the mountains. With prices for these svelte sporting tourers averaging just £10,000, it really should be Dr. Yes. So let's go from the beginning of the James Bond film franchise to the end, so far, and the 1977 Land Rover Series 3 featured in No Time to Die, released in 2021. The last of the so-called series Land Rovers, this marine blue short wheelbase Series 3 was Bond's personal choice of transport, again in Jamaica, driving it from his hideaway home and into Port Antonio for a meeting with Felix Leiter. Forever a classic, beloved equally by the working class and aristocracy, you can pick up a trusty Series 3 Landy for around £8,000. What car do you turn to when your Lotus Esprit blows up? A Citroen 2CV, of course, ideally in bright yellow, like this 1980 De Chevaux from For Your Eyes Only. Famously designed to transport a basket of eggs safely across a ploughed field, the Citroen uses the full range of its suspension travel to outrun a couple of Peugeot 504s through the mountains and olive groves of Corfu, pretending to be Spain. You can pick up one of these rugged tin snails for £7,000 or less. When in 1995 Bond was reinvented for the Brosnan era, Eon Productions were tempted away from British brands Aston Martin and Lotus by BMW, who offered them the newly launched Z3 Roadster to use in GoldenEye. Although being equipped with Stinger missiles and all the usual refinements, none of them feature in the film, and no sooner is Bond driving the Z3 than he is swapping it for a Cessna 172 to fly into Cuba. With one of the few Q-supplied cars that 007 didn't destroy, you can give one your best shot for just £5,000. The second BMW to feature is our cheapest but one Bond car. No, not the Z8, they are now well into six figures, but the E38 7 Series from the 1997 movie Tomorrow Never Dies. Although Q tells Bond it's a V12 engined 750, there were actually 17 V8 powered 740ILs that were supplied to production for the remote control car chase around a multi-storey car park. If you want to get your hands on a mid-90s 7 Series, it will only cost you about £4,000. Our final and cheapest Bond car comes from A View to a Kill in 1985, and another car borrowed from its rightful owner, a Renault 11. Needing some wheels to follow Mayday after she base jumps off the Eiffel Tower, Roger Moore wrestles a taxi driver out of his car and sets off down the Port de la Bourdonnais in pursuit, losing first the roof of the car and then the rear half, but still able to drive. You could recreate this, in whole or in part, by picking up a Renault 11 for well under £2,000. Oui, c'est vrai. Well, what did you think of that? Some pretty interesting and affordable cars in that list. Let me know in the comments which ones take your fancy. What would I choose? Well, I'd obviously love to go for something at the top end, like a Turbo Esprit or Vanquish, but I'd be just as happy with the humble Land Rover. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content on classic and modern classic cars. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.